Yeah, so as I promised, Black man, you tuning in with the Black Intellectual on the topic that I mentioned in a previous video that I'll be touching on. Social media has been Black men's best friend for the last 5 years. And the reason why I say that is because we're finally seeing what Black men have been talking about in the barbershops and in the locker rooms and all these other places for years. And the women are basically admitting it to the entire world, the decisions that they make. Or basically confirming things that Black men have been upset about, frustrated about, and annoyed with for the past couple decades, according to certain content creators. And it's funny to say it, but it's true. It's like social media has officially given Black men an ability to defend ourselves. We've never had the ability to do what Black women have been doing for 40 to 50 years, which is going on talk shows and crying and making these overpowering statements about how Black men are just beating on them and leaving them and making kids and leaving them and doing this and that and the third, how we only want to date white women because we hate our moms, or Black women are not the beauty standard, and all these magical stories spiraling downhill. And I will never forgive the Black community for allowing this rhetoric to play out. But what I also will never forgive is the older Black men who just sat back and didn't say nothing. Now, there might have been a few Black men who said something, but on the majority, there have been a lot of Black men who just haven't said anything. And there are a lot of Black men who refuse to see the problem. And those are the people who I just can't forgive, because it is ridiculous that we have allowed this rhetoric about Black men to be just put out there and slammed through the mud for decades. No pushback, no fight, no nothing. And it took till around 2018. Apparently, Tommy Sotomayor, apparently that dude been doing it for over a decade. Same with Jada Black. I didn't realize Jada Black was on YouTube as long as he was. But it's a lot of these dudes out here who've been trying to put the black male issue out there for years, but it seems like they didn't really make a breakthrough, and it didn't become mainstream media until Kevin Samuels, right? And sadly, Kevin Samuels passed away long at this point, and now you see a lot of Black men finally pushing back and saying, "Yo, we can do this now. We can finally do this because now we can finally put our issues out there for the world to see what the Black man's side really is." Because we've never been able to tell our side. And social media has been one of the worst things for the Black community, but one of the best things for Black men, because the world can finally see exactly what Black men have been going through, what we've been dealing with, and how we've been feeling. And I think I'm gonna let this next video show you guys exactly what I'm talking about.
Where exactly is he at now?
Malcolm X was right all along. Look where he's at. Martin Luther King was right all along. Where's he at? This is why I'm so glad I am an average looking dude that built himself up to the point that he has options and doesn't have to put up with the BS from women like her in any way, shape, or form. It's a beautiful thing. I suggest all men do the same thing, and then you can leave women like her in the dust where they
So
belong.
what you just saw there was basically a woman, basically mocking Kevin Samuels' death by saying, Kevin Samuels was right, but where is he now? Basically, slandering his name and making fun of the fact that he died, right? And I really, was taken by, mad surprise when Kevin Samuels passed away, because it just was like, damn, he was just blowing up. Was in a video of Future. He's in an episode of Atlanta with Donald Glover, and next, he was dead. And what I remember was Black women tap dancing on the man's grave, basically, when he passed away, laughing and enjoying it and basically celebrating it. And Black men had to watch that and go, huh. So they're celebrating the death of a Black man for telling the truth about what's wrong with the Black community. They're celebrating the death of a Black man who wasn't putting out negativity in a certain way, or unaliving his own people, or having a bunch of kids running around, or anything like that. But they celebrated his death for trying to put black kids back with their parents, trying to put the black family back together, trying to get black people healthy, trying to get our money together, things like that, trying to get us on a trajectory that would put the community in a better position. And they tap danced over his death because he didn't tell the B Dub they were perfect. That's unfortunate, man. It's just like, see what I mean when I say the productive black men who are not afraid to speak the truth, they don't get any respect? That's exactly what I'm talking about. There was absolutely no reason to tap dance on Kevin Samuels' death, but they did anyway. But they worshipped, Derek Jackson, and, gave this man a bunch of money, made him a millionaire. He cheated on his wife. Yeah, things like that happened. And they made excuses for him. Why? Because he panders to their feelings and he's attractive, so they let it fly. Which is basically another issue black men have had for years is, do look good to you, tell you what you want to hear, your cat get wet, your panties go missing. Next thing you know, you're raising a baby by yourself. But then you want to push those type of men and let them fly. But then you want the responsible men who do what they're supposed to do to fix your issues and take care of the kids. And that's been another thing that black men have been putting out on the internet is the fact that we've been able to push back on this narrative that's been going on in the black community for a very long time. I would say since the 80s, especially. This is when a lot of these problems kind of came in. The 90s solidified it. Black kids being made off of a whim, off of a freaking fling, off of a one night stand with a dude you didn't really know, or some dude you shouldn't have been dating, but you stayed with him for years while he was abusing you. And black men had to sit back and watch that and say, huh, so this is what we have to deal with. This is what's being presented to us is we're watching this happen. We're watching this whole bad decision making process be celebrated and watching it happen. But then we're supposed to sit back and wait for them to get done doing that so we can then raise the children they make from it, not have your own children, be emasculated and disrespected more times than peace, and we're supposed to just accept it. That's so wild. It's just wild. I had to stop. Like, damn. So then you also have the idea that, you know, black men have been able to express a lot of things that go on in the black community that no one knows about, expressing how, we get hit too, we get beat on too, and sometimes it really don't come from nothing. Sometimes she just didn't get what she wanted, but she popped off on me. And the women say, well, she's just in her feelings. Okay, cool. She's just in her feelings, but that doesn't justify the fact. Because if he gets in his feelings and hit her, she's a victim, right? He gets in his feelings and hits her, she's been DV'd. He gets in his feelings and hit her, oh, black men don't love black women. Black men don't respect black women. Black men hate their moms, these things like that. And now we're finally seeing numbers change and it's saying, oh no, black men actually experience domestic violence at an equal number to black women, which means a lot of these DV situations is mutual combat. We just haven't been saying nothing. And I talked to some police officers, right? And a good amount of police officers have told me, like, yeah, yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. Whenever we get a call about a DV situation, usually more times than not, when we show up, it's escalated by the woman. Now, this isn't saying that all black women do this, but or all women do this in general, but I'm saying it puts a light on the DV conversation because again, for years, not just black men, but all races of men, it's just I think black men have gotten it worse, has been DV is man to woman and there's no other way around it. The women never do these things, this, that, and the third. And it's a lie when you really look at it. Men just don't report our stuff. Women are more likely to go tell and cry and whine and put a story on it because they can get some sympathy. Men are just like, man, she hit me, whatever, blah, I'm gonna let her ride. Black men gotta stop doing that. Gotta stop doing that. But I will go to another point of why this social media thing has been black men's best friend is the fatherlessness in the black community being on black men. Well, I'll just let this woman tell you for me.
Thanks for bringing this up. So I'm a psychologist, a consumer of research, and a practitioner, so I'm all about providing clarifying information. According to the U.S. Centers of Disease and Prevention, in a 2013 study, they found that 70% of black fathers who were in the household were more likely to have bathed, to help dress, to help their children with the toilet every day, more likely than their white counterparts as well as their Hispanic counterparts. So let's continue to shed light on and celebrate black fatherhood. Happy Father's Day.
So see, now even the women have to basically admit, yeah, these niggas take care of their kids. It may not be all of us, and I get that. But with a 54% of black men not having kids rate and a 61% of black women being mothers or like that, and you got 39% of black women who have don't have children, who are not with child in any way, shape, or form, and then you got a 46% black men having kids rate. It kind of puts in perspective to where all these kids are coming from, because a lot of black women have multiple kids by multiple different men. Most black men who do have children have one, because unfortunately some of those black men who have one kid is sharing a baby mama with another dude, and unfortunately the women who have multiple kids are sharing multiple baby daddies with multiple different women. So there's kind of a difference here when you got to pay attention to the fact that by the time most black women get married, they already have a child or two, because y'all are more likely to have children under the age of 25, whereas black men are more likely to have kids after the age of 25. So the fatherlessness in the black community really pulls down to the fact that there's one dude who have multiple baby mamas, more than five. Some dudes got more than nine, and they have to juggle between 1 to 10 to 12 to 13 to 14 to X amount of kids. And the women really was like, yeah, we just in the line. They don't give a damn. They're in the line. They just wanted to be a part of the line because they thought they could get them. And now all black men ain't shit because they all in a line of the same line of women decided to share the same baby dad when y'all could have just went and got a dude who didn't have kids, and y'all could have just made that situation different. But nope, y'all wanted to fall in line behind it. And now this is the problem we're at. One dude, all these kids, he can't deal with them all. He can't even deal with one because he probably didn't even want that one. But I'll also let our dear friend Oprah, who's also responsible for destroying the black male image in a certain way, to explain it as well.
Study from the Center for Disease Control, which debunked many of the myths surrounding black fathers. It found that the majority of black fathers live with their children. Black fathers are more likely to help their children with their homework, prepare meals, bathe and dress their children compared to fathers of other races. So the absent or deadbeat black father myth that many in America believe is really more like a lie.
Well, you heard it straight from the horse's mouth yourselves, right? The same woman that was in The Color Purple, who marketed The Color Purple, who constantly put black men down on her TV shows for God knows how long, had to come out. I believe this was either last year or earlier this year, basically confirming, yep, what we've been saying about black men isn't true. Now, I'm not saying that there are black men out there who don't take care of their kids, because there are a lot of those niggas out there. My dad, my brother and sister's dad included. So I'm not sitting here saying it ain't true. But what I am saying is that there are still a good amount of black men out there who take care of their kids. But because we deal with this hands up, don't shoot mentality, as in, I don't want to say anything, so don't attack me if I do, or don't attack me because I'm not saying anything, is basically the same rhetoric. My problem is that we've been sitting here letting this happen. There are black men who even know it. They go, "Oh yeah, well, you just gotta let that be." No, stop letting that mess happen, because now it's just common to believe that black men are just not out here taking care of our children. That is the problem. So we really need to get that part under control because we've been sitting here allowing our own families, our own women, and our own kids to put our name in the mud. Mind you, I've said it before, I don't have children. And a lot of the brothers that I do know who have kids are in their children's lives. Take care of their kids, hang out with their kids, play with their kids, feed their kids, take their kids to school, dress their kids, all kinds of things. I don't know anybody who don't take care of their kids that I'm friends with because let's keep it a whole buck. And this is what's going to mess the whole conversation up because the women will constantly say that the men who don't take care of their kids aren't being held accountable. But let's be real. If he's hanging out with people and he doesn't take care of his kids, there's a very strong chance he's also hanging out with people who don't take care of their kids because men who take care of their kids all hang out together. And the men who take care of their kids don't hang with dudes that don't take care of their kids. So the men who don't take care of their kids are excommunicated from the circle. They're excommunicated from the group in general. So why are the men who take care of the kids supposed to hold those men accountable when the men who take care of their kids take care of their children? You see how that makes sense? You see how if you have one dude with 10 baby mamas, he don't take care of none of his kids, but you got one dude with one baby mama, he take care of all his kids from that one woman. Where does the problem lie? It's not the men. And the whole reason why the fatherlessness is even as bad is because of that problem. You got Futures and Nick Cannons and NBA young boys and all these other dudes who have multiple baby moms. Then you got dudes like Russell Wilson who got one baby mom, but she got a baby mom by a dude that got 10, well, they got 9 other baby mamas. So Russell Wilson is seen as this globalized hero because he's doing the same thing black men have been doing since the 80s, accepting bullshit from women who are dealing with men who they shouldn't be dealing with, but he's making that kid's life better, made her life easier. But luckily for Russell Wilson, he was able to have his own kids because she could have played them. So when people are saying these things about black men not taking care of their kids, we have a lot of celebrity influences that show that the black men do take care of the kids, and we have the ones that we know who are the problem that have all these baby moms but are still being worshipped and treated wonderfully by black women across the country. So who's really the problem? And that also falls into the Dr. Umar Johnson argument. He goes around telling black men to do this, and the third. He got 2 single mother homes. He ain't married none of his baby moms at all. So he got 2 baby moms. He got 2 daughters. He got 2 broken homes. He ain't married neither one of his daughters' mothers because he said it. But he has the right to go tell black men what to do with our body parts and who to marry and who to have kids with and what we got to do for the community. He's not even doing it. But that's one of our leaders, right? We're supposed to follow behind him no matter what because he's telling us what we can and can't do. And he's making y'all feel good, but he's pandering to y'all and he's lying to y'all and he's getting money off of y'all. Now, what I will say is that I'm happy is that recently he has said something that made me kind of rethink some things when he was saying how why a lot of these upward mobile black men marry outside their race. And he had to be honest about that because no matter what, the truth is still the truth. The sisters don't want these brothers until they make it. Meanwhile, other races of women don't mind it. They scoop them early and say, we'll see what happens. Because other races of women actually enjoy black men without having to be a rapper or an entertainer or this, that, and third while he's at the end when he's getting to the finish line. And I got 2 videos that'll show you that other races of women like black men. So it's not a problem for black men to find love in other races of people.
5 reasons why Filipina likes Black American. Number 1, Black American known to have a big hearts. What you see in TV is not true. Black American often big babies behind closed doors. They are the most gentle people I know. Number 2, they are very considerate and known to be very responsible. Number 3, Black American are very hardworking people. Number 4, Black American are often very sweet and simple. They just often getting advantage of. Number 5, this is my favorite. They are perfect for cuddle.
They're very big. And lastly, girls, take note. This is the most important one. Don't marry a black American if you're still planning to go back, because you can never go back.
To all my single Puerto Rican ladies, get you a black man. Yep, I said it. Get you a black man. You will thank me later. Now, with that being said, they love arroz. And you know what? Then my man got the audacity not to eat meat. So tonight, I'm going to make him arroz con chocha.
See? So other races of women have no problem picking the right black men because if they didn't have this problem, they wouldn't say what they say. Now, every woman of other races do not have that privilege or common sense to pick the right black man. We know there are white women out there who want to act just like black women and pick the worst black man. We see it all the time. Also with Hispanic women, also with Indian women, Asian women, whoever. But for the most part, when other races of women pick black men, it's usually the men that black women don't want who are actually thorough and have upward mobility. Hence the draft. Remember that whole fiasco when all these brothers had white women and non-black women, and all the black women were mad, but it took someone from Philly himself. I think Big Reed 777. He said it best. He was like, "These girls didn't want these dudes. The black women were chasing the rappers and the dope boys, which we already know. We already know." So when these dudes is, got their head in the books and they working hard, they playing football, they studying, they doing whatever, they are not on black women's radar like that. But they're on the Asian woman, white woman, Hispanic woman, and Indian woman, and all the other women's radars. And I know the big pushback from the sisters would be, "Oh well, they're just fetishizing you," and I don't think the black men are going to complain about that because let's be honest, in an interracial relationship, both of you are the exotic one. You're exotic to her, she's exotic to you, so it doesn't really matter. I don't think we really care about the fetishizing because let's be honest, if she's fetishizing me, at least I know she's attracted to me and can see this going somewhere we wanted to go. So I think I can speak for a lot of black men when even I'll say this myself is I would rather be fetishized than emasculated and disrespected. I will choose fetishization any day over emasculation and disrespect. Because at least when we know for a fact she's fetishizing you, that means she's attracted to you. You're exotic to her. She thinks you're very attractive. You're different. You're new. You're a new experience. So she likes that about you. And when women are attracted to you, especially in the black community, they let anything fly. And a lot of black men are like, well, at least I know she'll at least be respectful and submissive to some degree. And there's a good chance you could get a woman with no kids if you go outside your race. We keep trying to iterate this conversation. A lot of dudes of upward mobility do not want a baby mama in their bed. And if I said what I said before, a lot of black men who get out of college, more times than not, at least 40 to 50% of women his age, 22, 23 years old, already have children. So the slim pickings are already there. Then you got the women in college with him who are dating the dope boys and the rappers, as aforementioned. Then you got the women who don't want kids. Then you got the women who think they're too young to be married. So where's he supposed to go? He's supposed to lay around and die? No, expand your options. And plus, those women are more likely to want to get married earlier than 31, 32 years old, where most black women tend to get married. It just is what it is. This is the hand y'all been dealt. This is just the hand y'all dealt yourselves. So unfortunately, black women did a very incredible job of raising boys that are perfect for other races of women because they like the fact that he's exotic looking to them because he's got the darker skin, if he has darker skin. Then you got to think in the fact that his mom was hyper feminist and progressive, so it's a good chance he's a little more progressive than other races of men. Then on top of that, like the Filipino sister said, we got other things about us that they like. So it's a done deal. They get a fairly attractive dude. He's exotic to her. He's progressive a little bit. He's got his shit together. He's got that smooth talk. He's got that swag. He's got whatever. They're, but the other things aren't their main point. It's he's kind. He has a big heart. He's nice to cuddle with. He's just a decent person and he's got a trajectory that makes sense to me. So I get that and all those other things too. Oh, perfect. I will happily take that. Whereas all the good quality parts of him are turn offs to black women, they are turn ons to other races. So you cannot get mad at this brother or these multiple brothers who are dating outside their race because that's what they're handed to them. And unfortunately, a lot of these brothers on upper trajectory tend to run into other races of women more than they run into black women because they tend to leave their trashy ass neighborhoods, which they should. Umar, dumbass, saying, "Oh, you left the neighborhood," as he should have. To get to where you got to go. And yes, there are a good amount of black men out there who want to love black women, but they don't want your children. They don't want to be stepdad. They don't want to fix your problems. They don't want to accept all of the negativity that comes from you dealing with the dudes you dealt with. They don't want to deal with that. So unfortunately, this is a hand on black women that they have to change. But again, social media has helped black men see the light, see their value, know that what they're working for has not been in vain. These black men of today are so different. Thank God for social media. It's trash in a lot of ways, but in a good way, it's helped black men a lot. Other races of men already understood this. What social media has done for black men, it's allowing black men to understand they can be as valuable as other races of men. They just had to believe it themselves. And all this, you know, next and last part of this is, black men not having any money. Black men are poor and poverty. They can't read. They can't this. No, that's bullshit. Black men are doing fine. We're pushing against redlining, unfair hiring, ramifications of Jim Crow and all kinds of things in certain parts of the country, and we're pushing back against all this shit about us not being able to put our foot in the pool and swim. You know what I'm saying? We're pushing back against all these things that's been against us, our own women, the government, the system, and all these other things, and we're still pushing through to get pretty well paying jobs. We're getting our trades. We're going to college more than ever. We getting it done. Some of us are just, truck driving, and that's good money. Some of us are construction workers, that's good money. We doing our damn thing. Then you got the brothers who are lawyers, doctors, businessmen. I go to a school here in Philly, and I'm surrounded by a lot of brothers that's professional brothers. They go to business school, they getting their business degrees. They about to move out into the corporate world, open their own thing, probably do their own. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of different brothers at the schools I'm at. Some of these brothers are in engineering. Some of these brothers are in law. Some of these brothers are in business. A lot of these brothers are some brothers are trying to become social workers. Some brothers trying to become teachers. You go deeper into Philly, we got the No Mo Foundation. We got a bunch of different things going on, explaining a lot of problems going on in the black community, trying to solve the problem. No one ever talked about the dads on duty thing. I forget where they were, but the dads on duty. This was a couple years ago. This is an old story, and you had the dads in the neighborhood, black men walking around the school, joking with the kids, talking to the kids, making sure they good, whatever. And the kids said we liked it. It's a little embarrassing, but we kind of like it. We feel a little safer on school campus, knowing that the dads are involved. But this is a group of black men. They was talking to the white kids, the Hispanic kids, all the kids, and the black kids especially felt good. But no one talks about them. And the statistics are coming out that a lot of black men are starting to achieve that so-called American dream that I don't really believe in. But we're achieving the American dream, right? A good amount of us make at least middle class money. A good amount of us are in the upper class. Now, should we strive to get more black men into that area? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But we can't just change it overnight. It's going to take some time, but it's happening. I think Gen Z in the next about half a decade to a decade, you're going to see the black male numbers of income rise dramatically from that. I think the Gen Z boys have a very, very good trajectory on their hands. Yes, the economy sucks, but I think they have a lot of potential. And you know what? I think I'm gonna let Medium Man close us out. This has been a Black Intellectual. You tuned in. This is definitely my longest video, but I think it's a beneficial video for black men to see where we are now and where we're going. So, like, comment, subscribe for more content. I'm glad to talk to y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one.
A substantial share of black men in the United States are realizing the American dream, at least financially, and the majority are not poor. Per a new analysis of census data outlined in the report, more than 1 in 2 black men, 57%, have made it into the middle class or higher, up from 38% in 1960. So we are doing much better than our ancestors. Black men who are married, have a college education, and work full-time are more likely to be in the middle or upper class. Military service is also linked to a higher likelihood of being in the middle class or higher. Black men were able to accomplish all of this while facing residential segregation, which can limit employment options, employment discrimination, and also over-policing, due to being viewed as more violent, even though only 1.9 million people are incarcerated in the U.S. Black men operate in a black community that has been utilizing false stereotypes for decades in order to paint a picture that we're less than our female counterparts, but somehow have still managed to make strides with all of those factors working against us. Salute to you, black men.